Hey, this is Aaron with the Soft Shirt Podcast. Stay with us. We have
Danny Timbers.
Also James Myers.
And that's it. Yeah. We're finally catching up, but it's just the three of us for, I believe, the first time it's just three of us.
Yeah, we're forcing our blackness down Austin's throat.
All right.
Hey.
Well,
I'm not gonna. Don't worry, I ain't gonna gag.
all right.
All right.
Well, glad to have everyone back.
We're back, baby. 2019. What's
2019. Wow. At least we've had a podcast every year because we almost
We almost didn't do it, but we here.
Holy shit!
But
We did it.
we did it. This is episode 23, I believe. It's gonna be.
It's episode 20-something.
It's in the 20s. You know, we
20
that's
some
pretty
some.
good. You know, I'd say that's pretty adamant.
I can't believe we did 20. That's actually kind of impressive.
Yeah. I'm glad to have it. Unfortunately, we still don't have our lovely Zach back yet.
Yeah, shout out to Money, wherever he is, whatever he's doing.
And
Shout out
Danny's
to you,
Danny's swinging
being
off
a cuck.
swinging off the coattails of the wealthy elite. Okay.
First bleep? Yes. We're here.
Yeah.
Don't bleep that out.
Don't bleep out cuck? Oh, it's too bleep.
That's just gonna be the bleep. Is just Quincy saying cuck.
The first time in my life I ever heard the word cuckold was on George Lopez, and
What?
and it was when,
On what, really?
It was Angie's dad, his wife cheats on him.
Yeah.
And he comes into George's house and he's talking about how he got cheated on. He's going, "I've been cuckolded," and George keeps going, "What? I've been cuckolded."
That's amazing.
He was the funniest character. The dad was the funniest character.
Cuckolded.
Angie's dad?
Yeah, he was the funniest character.
Yeah, that's pretty funny.
Him and Max. I like Max.
Was Max the brother?
Yeah.
Yeah, Max was the younger brother.
Yeah.
I like Carmen when she grew up, though.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm sure you did.
Hey, she was good
Sure
looking.
you did.
I always thought Angie
Hey,
was
what Carmen
really good
doing now?
looking, too.
How old was she during that Quincy episode with like her actual actress? She was probably like
She was probably a little bit older than she actually was, probably playing a little bit down.
yeah.
Probably like 18.
My favorite character was
I'm going to say she was
Benny.
18.
For all intents and purposes.
I thought Benny
was
was the
18.
best character in that fucking show.
Who?
Benny, the grandma.
Oh, the drummer.
Oh yeah, the one who called him always called his candy ass.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I used to
She's
watch
the
George
best.
Lopez all the time. I loved that shit.
Yeah.
And I mean, I could not relate to it in the slightest, but I thought it was the funniest fucking shit in the world.
His when they do the flashback where it's his head on the baby, I just imagine that exactly that's what Quincy's kid's gonna be like.
Hey, fuck you, okay? My head's not that big.
Just an adult man.
Y'all remember him in Shark Boy and Lava Girl?
Oh, yeah, wasn't he like
Do you
the
remember
fucking...
he made puns and it was the weirdest thing.
What was his name? He was like Mr.
Watt, like Mr. Watt.
Watts
Wasn't he a
or something
teacher,
like
too? He was like, he was like the teacher in real
Oh,
life.
he's like a lecture guy. And he's like,
yeah.
But he was a villain in, like, in the dream world.
What a movie. Dream,
but was it really?
I had that on
It wasn't,
DVD.
but they
I
found
had
out it
the-
wasn't a
the
dream world, right?
3D glasses and
Me,
everything.
too. I had Spy Kids 3D in DVD, too, with the 3D glasses.
You know I still have that, right?
Spy Kids 3D?
And all the glasses.
We should watch
Camille and
that.
everyone was like, we should have a movie night and just watch Spy Kids 3D. I was like, that's gonna be we're gonna be at Capri Suns and what's a generic like
Fuck Capri Suns,
old
get Tang.
early 2000s late 90s meal.
That is very offensive, Austin. I don't drink Tang.
You remember Tang with the orangutan on the label? And
What is that?
You never heard of Tang?
It was like Capri Suns.
Yeah, it was like
Tang.
it was like a
I
string.
only drink high C fruit punch and
It's like a string
Capri
Sunny
Sun.
D. That's why.
I never had anything more
I
than
used to get those.
They come in the powder form, right?
No, it was. They came in. It was just like Capri Suns. It was a box with all the like, and the packets were shaped just like Capri Sun packets, but it just had a little orangutan on the label, and it was called Tang.
wow.
Man,
I think it was like orange juice.
That's orangutan. That's Tang short for orangutan, not
No,
Tang, the other slang term. Okay.
No, I think it was. No, it was that, Quincy.
We were drinking straight
Straight up Tang.
Drinking that Tang.
straight.
That's what the funniest scene is in that '70s show was when the mom kept saying Tang and they kept laughing at her.
I think it's funny.
See, but I don't think it's fair though, because kids will come up with slang and the parents will say it while it meant something else before, and
Yeah.
now it means something new. Like I guess it's like I understand why it's funny. I'm just saying it's like it's not fair to be.
I didn't know
like,
the slang term muff until I watched that '70s show.
Oh,
Yeah, didn't know that
That's a
until
slang term from your childhood that like you still use to this day. I feel like tight is the only one I can think of. Like I can remember being 7 years old and being like, "That's tight."
dog. Dog is the only one I still
Dog?
use. Dog.
I don't know what I. I'd have to see a list and remember all the things I say because I don't really remember it like much as
You said dude. He probably said dude or awesome.
But you know what's not tight?
Awesome's not slang.
Awesome is slang.
You know what's not tight? All this shit going on with the AAF.
That is not tight. You're right. That was a smooth little transition right there. Yeah. So
first things
apparently,
first, fuck the AFF.
the AAF has folded on its 7th week, which is I don't know. I guess is somewhat precedented because
They had traction. They had fans.
I
also
watched
watching
several
it.
games, and I followed the Iron. The Iron was the team I liked the best, just 'cause I thought their uniforms were badass. They had,
the Birmingham Iron,
they had solid black uniforms with like silver accents. And
like the Raiders.
No, different. Like,
Okay.
Like pants black, jersey black, helmet black, no logo on the helmet, just a silver stripe down the middle.
Oh, that's badass.
Yeah, I thought they were really, really slick uniforms. And they were undefeated at the start of the season, but then they started losing. You looked up Birmingham Iron.
You look Birmingham Steel.
Oh.
You just got a bunch of pictures of factories.
He's such a Steelers fan. That's all he thinks about.
Okay.
Yeah.
Jet fuel can't melt.
Trent Richardson was on that
steel
team, I
beams,
think.
Alabama steel beams.
Look how excited they are to continue a season that probably wouldn't get canceled 7 games in.
Former Heisman Trophy winner Trent Richardson was running back for that team.
He actually was doing pretty well. He was scoring.
Was he finding the open holes?
He was scoring all their touchdowns at the beginning of the season. I didn't keep track towards the end.
I'll never forget that one highlight of him when he was on the Raiders. There's a big ass wide open hole, and he goes straight to the defensive lineman.
Oh, I remember. I know exactly what you're talking about. Oh, that sounds like me when I played football.
But yeah, so the AAF is I think they're just on a hiatus, but I don't know if they're completely collapsed or filed for bankruptcy or anything.
So what I just saw happen, what I just read on CBS Sports was that they were basically halted because they were dependent on negotiations between the NFL Players Association and the NFL over the AAF's use of NFL practice squad players. And those negotiations weren't, I guess, according to what I read, those negotiations weren't going along smoothly or happening as quickly as they needed to. And so the owner of the AAF, who had invested $70 million and had pledged to invest $250 million, I think he was like, this isn't going to work out. I'm going to end this before I lose a little bit more money than I've already put in.
Right.
So right now, if everything shuts down, he's only going to lose $70 million.
Only.
Versus 180 is still coming from the other two.
Oh yeah, I mean that's probably nothing to him, but to me it's like fucking $70 million.
That's true.
I don't believe that the other 180 had been invested yet.
Right, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
But if he had invested, that's how much more he would have lost.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's smart to pull out while you're losing the least amount of money you can instead of like losing $250 million.
Well, there's the other league too, the XFL or something like that.
The XFL? That's what Vince McMahon is trying to do.
Yeah.
And that failed once already.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because they're at the Hall of Fame Museum in Ohio. They have a list of all the other leagues that tried to start and how all these teams existed at some point. Like how long the Arizona Cardinals, for one, have been around?
They've been around since the 20s.
Yeah.
I think these things fail is because they're trying to target players that their dream is to be in NFL, and they don't want anything like that. They should be targeting players that like already went to the NFL and have fallen out, or people who know they're not going to get a shot in NFL. So this is going to be their chance to show the shine.
Well, I think what the aim of the league was for it to serve as a sort of developmental league.
Right. I mean, the NFL could use that, like a D league, like just like send like the players that you want to develop to this league,
like how NXT is for WWE.
Exactly, or like the D league, the G League is for the NBA.
Wait, there's an NXT.
Yeah, NXT is
like they develop talent and then they send them to the main roster.
Yeah, it's owned and operated by WWE.
Yeah,
but it's presented as a developmental brand. It's the person who Triple H is the one who runs it.
Yeah, and then Shawn Michaels is like GM.
Oh, is he?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Yeah. But Triple H runs it, and then
Wait, do you know Triple H's real name?
Paul Levesque.
Hunt is Paul Levesque. How about to say Hunter Hearst Helmsley?
Hunter Hearst Helmsley. His name's Paul Levesque or Levesque. I don't know, something like that.
I've never thought
Stephanie
about
McMahon's last name really Stephanie Levesque.
At this point, or Levesque.
Oh, Levesque.
You know what Shawn Michaels' real name is?
No.
Michael Hickenbottom.
I'd be Shawn Michaels too.
Can you imagine the Heartbreak Kid, Michael Hickenbottom?
Hickenlooper. That's a dope ass wrestling name though.
Something like that.
That's like saying Taserface is a dope ass name.
Taserface.
Taserface.
Oh man, but yeah, so it's unfortunate news to hear. I mean, especially when you have like developmental. I guess they kind of are developing talent.
They
that may
should have just like painted it as that. Like come to the NFL like that, saying instead of had a practice squad, why not send them down to the AAF where they can become star players for your team later
have
on?
experience.
Well, you still need a practice squad.
That's true. You do need
still need a practice squad in the NFL, and I think that's what stalled it.
Right.
Was that the AAF was relying on practice squad members, and I think that their existence kind of hinged on those negotiations. And you know how the fucking NFLPA and the NFL negotiations go down. You know how long it takes them to come to an agreement. Wasn't it just a handful of years ago? There were worries.
They shut down the league.
Yeah, there was worries that like half the NFL season wasn't going to happen because there was those negotiations weren't going along.
The NHL's had that experience.
The NFLPA got fucked over too because them players are getting paid like chump change compared to the NBA.
And how is Roger Goodell still the commissioner? I do not.
I don't fucking know how he's still holding on to his job, but like
what is the tenure supposed to be for?
They extended his contract. I believe they extended his contract.
That was the okay. So that was the year that they gave Ezekiel Elliott a 4-game suspension.
Yeah,
because what's his name? Jerry
Jones.
Jerry Jones was like, no, I don't want to. I'm going to contest your renegotiation because you fucked over my team essentially.
Right.
And so that year was the year that he was his contract was renewed.
I don't think Robert Kraft likes Roger Goodell at all.
I don't think anyone likes Roger Goodell.
One of my favorite moments was it didn't happen so much at this Super Bowl, but Super Bowl 51. Because that was the year where Brady got suspended for the first 4 games, and then they went on to beat the Falcons.
Oh, yeah, they won Super Bowl that year.
Do you remember how loud Roger Goodell was getting booed when he was like, congratulations on New England Patriots? Everybody in Glendale, boo! Oh, no, it wasn't in Glendale. 49 was in Glendale. Where was 51?
51 was in
Houston.
Houston. Yeah, 51 was in Houston. I was about to say Atlanta.
No, Atlanta was where 53 just happened.
Okay, yeah.
I don't think the Patriots will go back. As much as I love the Patriots,
finally,
I don't.
Because Gronk retired.
No, no, I don't think he was. I don't think he.
Yes, he was. Gronk was a security
blanket. Wait, I missed what you said. What?
Gronk retired.
Oh well, I know he retired, but I saw that coming from a mile away.
Oh yeah, his body was.
As soon as he sold his apartment in Boston,
he had an apartment.
Mm-hmm.
There's no way that guy was making. I guess it was a really nice apartment.
That's how you save money, bro.
I was gonna say, was he saving money
with your girl? What? Gronk's a king.
I think.
I was gonna say he probably has plenty of money.
Apartment probably extends far beyond the types of apartments we live in.
Oh, they probably live in a fucking goddamn.
I'm sure there's a wide spectrum.
What are you talking about? We have plenty of great apartments. We have.
He live in a 1-bedroom that costs $3,000 a month.
Oh my god,
Jesus.
My sink is smaller than my ass, and I have a small ass.
Apartments. Oh my god, I would not miss that. I didn't have a kitchen sink.
Jeez. Yeah. So. Sports world's fun. Hey, at least we have the NCAA tournament, but that's wrapping up now.
Yeah.
All your brackets got fucked because of Duke.
Man, all their games are so close.
I don't know why you trusted them. I don't know why you trusted Duke.
They only lost by 1 point.
You're all like, there's a number 1 seed. They have to win all their games.
I mean, I'm still got the top bracket in our fucking group, so suck my.
Villanova's still in there? Were they
Villanova got knocked out a while ago.
Yeah, they got knocked out like second round.
Yeah. I didn't even do a bracket. I just guessed Villanova was going to win.
Yeah, that was
just waiting for my payday.
I think it's going to be MSU versus Auburn.
Fuck Auburn.
Purdue almost beat Virginia, and I don't think Virginia is that good of a team. I never think Virginia gets that good.
Did you have 2 brackets in the group?
Oh, so when I've made a second one for the Virginia fans, I didn't know that it added them automatically, so I had to delete them.
Oh, so you had one that said, wait, VCU is in?
Yeah, because I have 3 of them.
Okay, I thought that was Austin that was, wait, VCU is in. I was like,
No, VCU got knocked out in the first round.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, no.
They got fucking dicked on by the 7'6" guy.
Man, they did have a 7'6" guy.
The dude we played the one team that has a 7'6" center, and we have no bigs.
7'6".
He's 7'6". His name is Taco Fall.
He just walks to the. He just walks to us.
He just
7'6".
Yeah, man.
That's how they almost beat Duke. That's why they almost beat Duke.
Yeah, they lost by 1 point, right?
Yeah, they lost by 1 point. Lost by a missed tip-in. But you're saying Auburn's going to beat Virginia?
I think Auburn's going to beat Virginia and MSU is going to beat.
I think it's going to be Auburn, Texas Tech in the final.
Texas is pretty good.
I think they can make it to the final.
But you chose Duke to win, so I don't trust your opinion.
Well, I'm still the top bracket in the group, so and I'm getting that free cookout.
Barely.
The only time I ever
courtesy
liked
of Danny
Auburn.
or Zach.
That saved me. I was about to be last place. Thank you, dude.
I didn't even make one, so I'm winning. I'm perfect.
Yeah.
I'm undefeated since 1838.
Have you ever made an NCAA
Rams.
bracket?
Have I ever made a bracket? No.
Yeah. Okay.
The only brackets I ever make or like predict on are the NFL playoffs. I always.
Is that a thing?
Well, I don't think
He's saying
it's
a predicts.
Oh, okay.
Well, yeah, like I'll get out my notebook and I'll like write down who I think's gonna win each game, and like it's just like a personal thing. I don't share with anybody. I just predict independently how I think the playoffs are gonna go, and usually I'm right. I wasn't right this year. I thought that it was gonna be Saints Chiefs.
Hold on, what? You thought the Patriots were gonna make it?
No, I genuinely thought that New England would go into Kansas City and get routed.
Oh. I thought they were going to too, but Tom Brady just.
If it had been in Gillette, I would have pulled for the Patriots 100%. But
it was an Arrowhead.
Yeah, just given the fact that it was a road game and just how hot the Chiefs were, I was like, you know what, I can see Brady maybe making one too many mistakes. I could definitely see our defense fucking up and letting Mahomes run all over them, which they did in the second half, but luckily in the first half they didn't let him.
Right, but and then you didn't count for the Saints' terrible defense.
Thank God for one. Yeah, I was gonna say thank God that the Patriots actually won that game, because if they hadn't, everyone was gonna be like, we just need to build an offensive powerhouse, and that's how we win games. Because if they hadn't won, people would have been like, well, maybe defensive strategy isn't that good.
That's why I love that Super Bowl so much. A lot of people, they've been talking shit about the Super Bowl. It's the most boring Super Bowl of all time. I loved every second of it.
That first half I hated. The second half was fun.
Defensive games.
I remember I was pissed I didn't get to watch it because I was working, so I was mad, but I was like, wait, this is like nobody scoring.
Yeah, I've always liked defensive struggles in football, because I think that is like the true essence of football.
That's like chess. You play a game of chess. Like, how can I focus scoring these guys?
Like a good 10-14 game.
Yeah.
Those are pretty
That's why I like Super Bowl
10-14.
The Super Bowl the Broncos won.
Super Bowl 42 should have gone.
Really?
Yeah. I like the Super Bowl the Broncos won because it was a defensive game. It wasn't like there was no offense.
Yeah, I like games like that because I really like the phrase "defense wins championships."
They do. They literally
do. Super Bowl 53 was like the prime example of like defensive expertise.
The Patriots defense got you out of the Super Bowl.
Yeah, Goff is just too young, I think. Yeah, honestly.
Well,
she was scared. They were all scared.
They didn't deserve to be there.
Sean McVay looked like he was lost. Sean McVay looked like he was like, oh shit, I don't know what the hell to do.
Have you seen like the Vietnam style flash that they have of him versus in the Eagles game where they like fall apart, and it's like an overlay of just the Steve Harvey laughing one where it's just like it's like that, but it's with Sean McVay. It's fucking
so funny. But you can see it on his face, this look of like, everything that I had planned isn't working.
Right.
Fuck, what do I do?
Well, that's when the coaches and our superior coaches win games, because when all their shit doesn't work, they can create a new game plan right there on the spot.
I give a lot of credit to Bill Belichick and his defensive expertise, but I think a lot of it has to go to the guy that was the Patriots defensive coordinator, the game plan that he wrote going into it. I can't remember his name. He just went to the Dolphins. Or was it the Dolphins he just went to?
I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know his name, though.
He had been the head coach of Chicago, I think, and then he came and was our defensive coordinator, and then after winning the Super Bowl, went down to Miami. I could be wrong. If I might be misremembering, but...
You talking about Tressman?
I can't remember his name. I really can't. The guy who was just the defensive coordinator of the Patriots, and then the guy we hired right after he left, Greg Schiano.
He just quit, didn't he?
He just left.
Wait, was that the guy who said he had family problems and he wanted to go back?
Yeah, he said he wanted to go focus on his family and his faith.
Damn.
I mean, I can respect
that.
I mean, I thought Belichick was pretty much the defensive mastermind, anyways.
Well,
he is, but it
because
takes
he knows how to. He is because he knows how to lead the defensive team. But he also knows how to delegate authority when it comes to defense. He knows how to allow the defensive coordinator to come up with the schemes that they know are best, and then Bill Belichick knows how to have faith in that. Like, that's what in the Super Bowl, that's kind of what happened.
Yeah.
Was he let his defensive coordinator run the schemes that he had planned, and then Bill Belichick just kind of facilitated it and kind of just oversaw it.
Right. I think since every good leader, you got to fucking delegate, so you can't do it at all. You need some help.
How the hell are you going?
I think Josh McDaniels the one that runs the offense, so I think he does all that shit.
I appreciate Josh McDaniels and I like him, but I always like kind of dislike him a little bit because I feel like there's animosity between him and Brady.
Was he the one who was advocating for Garoppolo?
Maybe
He probably was.
Yeah.
McDaniels
He also was the coach of the
one-
Broncos that drafted Tim Tebow, so.
McDaniels is the one where you can look up the videos of him and Brady just screaming at each other on the sidelines. There's a video where Josh McDaniels says something and you see Brady just go, "No shit."
Oh, dude, there's a scene. I was thinking of just like general scenes like that from the Patriots. There's a time when they played the Vikings this last season, and I think it's who's their start? Thielen. Like runs up to like Belichick, and Belichick's like he tells him to fuck off or something. It's really fucking funny.
When Belichick shows emotion, it's the funniest thing ever.
Yeah, it's the greatest thing.
He was when they won the Super Bowl, or when like it was clear they were gonna win the Super Bowl. If you go back and watch the mic'd up, Bill Belichick is like screaming on the sideline, "We're champs! We're He's like he's going and he's oh my fucking god, what on earth?
Who in the hell?
Is that okay? Well, the Trump one is definitely photoshopped. That's my favorite. Bill Belichick and getting grabbed by the pussy by Donald Trump.
Lord have mercy.
Oh my god. That is. What's wrong with men kissing each other on the lips?
Nothing.
I'm an advocate for it.
I just like this one.
That is the funniest thing.
Yeah, Trump puts no lips to his kisses, huh?
No, he didn't.
Bill Belichick's kisses were tremendous, beautiful, the best kisses.
But, oh man, I just realized how
Tasted
much
like champagne.
how much has changed. Yeah, I guess since the last time we recorded, it was the beginning of the season, and now it's the end of it. Which is
that is true.
Sports seasons go by quickly. The Steelers have changed a lot. We've lost both Brown and Bell.
Damn, y'all lost both the Bs.
No, we didn't lose them. We discarded them.
Discarded them. One didn't want to fucking play the job because y'all wouldn't pay him.
Yeah.
The other one was like, fuck Ben
Oh,
Roethlisberger.
no, that's not true because he's being paid less than what he would have been if we franchise tagged him.
When a girl says, "I'm leaving your ass," did you break up or did she leave your ass?
What do you tell your friends?
That's
Aaron's so hurt.
That's what happened with Antonio Brown. He was like, "Nah, I'm leaving."
He said, fuck Ben Roethlisberger. That guy's a fucking trash bag.
Well, it's not like he's going to be there much longer anyways.
Ooh, Ben Roethlisberger?
Yeah, or Tomlin. It's going to be a completely different
He's playing into his 40s like Brady.
No, he's not. No, he's not.
Oh, yeah, I give it a couple years and the Steelers will look like an entirely different team.
And
Which I'm happy for.
Trash.
Coming in fourth place
Right,
in the
okay.
AFC North
Okay, Broncos.
every year.
Hey, we got Flacco, baby.
Who's our competition? The Browns?
Yes, they have OBJ and
exactly.
Jarvis Landry.
And that's it.
That's not all they have. They have a quarterback.
No,
who
I'm
can throw
saying
to him now,
I'm saying
too.
just Cleveland is the only competition.
The last
Baltimore got rid of their whole fucking team. I don't know what they're doing.
I have no idea what's
last
going on
thing
with Baltimore.
I saw had the Browns predicted to win the NFC.
Yeah.
And not NFC, AFC North.
I think
They
people.
should.
I think
they
people are
will.
gonna give it halfway through the season until they're like, yeah, they definitely have a little bit before that.
They definitely gonna be the fucking Bengals. The
Or
fuck
they'll
they do
pull,
this offseason.
They'll pull an 08 Jets, start out 8-3 and finish 9-7.
Or like the Chiefs when they went through like an 8-game win streak and then they lost the rest of their games.
Or that Broncos that one year when we won like 7-1 and
Wasn't
lost
it
the rest.
the Bengals this year started off undefeated?
5-0.
Yeah, they started off 5-0.
The Bengals are the
Once they play
NFL's
us,
biggest joke.
once they play the Pittsburgh Steelers, the Steelers determine the rest of their season every year.
The Bengals are so trash, man.
God. And I've always had a soft
Andy
spot for
Dalton.
the Bengal Tigers. I've always liked them a little bit.
Poor
Like the
AJ
actual
Green.
Tigers?
Free AJ Green.
I refer to them as the Bengal Tigers just because I feel like that's a funny way to refer to the Bengals. Oh, yeah. Cincinnati Bengal Tigers.
They've never seen a tiger in their life.
Free AJ Green. He needs a better quarterback.
Oh, I love AJ Green.
Where's
He
Andrew
won me
Green?
my first ever
Cincinnati.
fantasy football.
Oh, he's still there, yeah. Well,
Yeah.
I mean,
Super Bowl.
same can be said for Larry Fitzgerald. He's had like 8 different quarterbacks.
Y'all should have traded Antonio Brown to Cincinnati for AJ Green.
Why would we change it? in the same
I like
division.
my
No,
women like I
it's
like
just really
Larry
funny.
Fitzgerald, loyal.
Larry Fitzgerald, he's never going to retire from the Cardinals, even though they have terrible
They
quarterbacks
probably
every
pay
year.
him way too
If
much
Larry
to leave.
Fitzgerald was your woman, he'd never leave.
How much?
Honestly.
Like how much money would you make if you're a star player on a shit team versus being a great player on a great
But
team?
think about it,
Depends on the
he's
cap
been
room
he's
of
been
the
in the
team.
league for a while though. Like, he has the money. Why not chase the ring?
I mean,
Why not go to the Patriots?
all right.
Because it comes down to loyalty. The stuff I've seen, Larry Fitzgerald has said he doesn't want to go anywhere. That he's in love with being on the Cardinals. He wants to stay on the Cardinals. He wants to play for them
I
until
mean,
he
he's
retires.
like ingrained in that community. He's like does a lot of good work there. Like why did he probably just want to stay there
I
because
think
that's where he
that's a-
feels
He
home.
also has millions and millions of dollars.
And that's home to him too though. Like
Yeah.
Phoenix is home.
I can't imagine being in Arizona. Just the idea of being there, just like I guess watching Breaking Bad, just like looking at the environment, just like I just couldn't stay
There's a lot of
somewhere
beautiful
so
women in Arizona.
arid.
Let me tell you.
Huh?
A lot of beautiful women in Arizona.
There's a
let
lot
me
of
tell you.
beautiful people everywhere, though.
Not true.
Okay, well,
Who's going to North Dakota for the baddies?
Hey,
Who the fuck's going to North Dakota for the bad women?
have you been to North Dakota?
I had. They probably have some fine ass women too. Let me stop talking shit. Shout out North Dakota if you're listening.
I'd rub my dick on Mount Rushmore.
That would hurt.
It would
You
hurt a
know,
lot.
you'd find the fucking treasure from National
Treasure?
Treasure.
You're gonna,
Oh my
you're gonna
God.
slap Joe Washington in the face with your dick.
No, not George. Probably Theodore.
It's George.
Slap Tom.
It's George
Is Tom
Theodore.
there?
Who else is up there?
Wait, is Tom Jefferson on Mount Rushmore before
Yes.
I start? Okay.
It's,
Yeah, George
it's-
Theodore.
It's George Washington, Thomas Jefferson, Theodore Roosevelt, and Abraham Lincoln. The
Thank
only
you
ones
for
I can
telling me
think of.
that.
I don't know if there's any more than that. I think it's just those
No, it's just 4. Because there's always like the jokes. Oh, I'm gonna.
Mount Rushmore. Who
Just
made that shit? I want to know.
A god did. It was made before.
There's gonna
Oh,
be
God made Mount Rushmore.
Oh, is there another one? No, it's just
That's
those
4.
4.
Yeah, that's where the secret is, right there.
Yeah. Right in his nostril, just a big golden booger.
But why is Teddy up there?
Also, wait, is that the top of
Teddy
his?
Roosevelt?
Yeah, didn't Teddy hate the Indians?
Is that the top of
Native Americans,
No,
excuse
that's
me?
Andrew Jackson.
No, that was Andrew Jackson. By the time,
Look, do you see there's a color here?
unfortunately, by the time Teddy Roosevelt was president, the Native Americans had been
Yeah.
basically fucked.
Excuse my ignorance
Ex-
out there. I'm sorry. I just history class been a
Yeah,
long time
they
ago.
had-
I
at that
apologize.
point, our country had just ruined their entire civilization.
Do you see that though?
Fuck you, Andrew Jackson.
There is a cult. Most people hate Andrew Jackson. He also famously dueled plenty of fucking people.
Also, fuck Thomas Jefferson too.
He
He,
threw a party at the White House and let just people off the streets come in and party at the White House.
Who?
Andrew Jackson.
Yeah,
Damn.
because he's the one who canceled the.
Only was he all that? That's what.
Well, he was a populist, and I think he was really appreciated for that fact.
Mhm.
But
Other than that, he was trash.
when it came to his
yeah, he
his
shut down the
policies-
Second World Bank, right?
the National Bank.
The National Bank, yeah, right? I think that was
I'm
him.
not sure.
So who was the best
That actually
president of all
sounds-
time?
Because
Best
he's.
president of all time.
I'd still say Roosevelt. I like Roosevelt a
Yeah.
I
lot.
think given
FDR or Teddy?
I'd say either a tie between FDR and Abraham Lincoln, because Abraham Lincoln, just given the fact that you have to guide the country through a civil war,
Yeah.
the type of leadership it takes to keep a country together through a civil war and win a war of attrition, like not even just like a regular war, a straight up war of attrition where in order to win you got to burn down your enemy,
Right.
Like it
Yeah.
was just the type of leadership that took, and then I think FDR.
And it's your own people too. You had to fight against your
I
own
mean, he had
people.
to serve 3 terms with polio.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's just.
Cause, yeah, FDR like
He turned the country around though.
yeah, he came in was like
I think the war. Well, yeah, I guess indirectly.
his
yeah, okay,
policies were
directly it
working.
did.
Because when we were like in the Great Depression before you took over.
Yeah, the Great Depression had just hit. He in 29, he became president in 33, I believe. Yeah, because he was president for 12 years.
He had war bonds as well to start jumpstarting the economy. I believe is
Yeah.
when that came around.
He started the New Deal, and then that for between 33 and 41.
Brought around Social Security.
His domestic policies kind of boosted our economy, and a lot of the social policies that he instituted made our economy thrive for decades.
Right.
Like the economic policies that we had in the 50s stemmed from what he started in the 1930s. But if I'm being honest, I think the thing that really, really took us out of the Depression was war.
Yeah.
Like, nothing is
Because
gonna.
it made a business boom.
Yeah, nothing's gonna boom your industry like war. I mean, that's why the fuck do you think we've been in Afghanistan for 17 years or Iraq for 14 years? We like, I think it's funny. 1941, war starts. 1945, over. Because we were trying to win.
Right.
But nowadays, war goes on for 17 years. War goes on for 14 years.
Well, what about France's and England's 100-year war? What do you say about that, then?
Yeah.
Oh, they were both trying to win. I think that's just a specific case of no one wanted to lose.
So is Herbert Hoover the worst president of all time?
No,
There's so many. You know the forgotten age of presidencies, like Buchanan and all them?
Buchanan?
I feel like those are definitely considered
Buchanan,
worse.
they think, was the only ever homosexual president.
Wow, really?
Buchanan, he wasn't married, and
I think he was the only one.
There are rumors that he had, for lack of a better word, boyfriends.
I don't think he's the only one. I think just people kept it on the low.
I could imagine like a few of them being bi, definitely.
I'm sure that a couple.
I can imagine a few of them definitely being bi.
JFK probably sucked a dick.
Oh man. Oh god.
Dwight D. Eisenhower. What do you think
Come
the D
on,
standing for?
I was gonna say
Dick.
I know I'm gonna bleep this, but I think JFK.
Dwight Deep Throat Eisenhower.
I'm gonna have to bleep this part, but
I've been cuckolded.
Oh God.
I saw a video of the actual footage of the assassination.
oh, they're gonna know what I bleep now.
Yeah.
Wake up.
That shit is fucked up. Like
The frame by frame.
I've seen it. Yeah.
He gets shot twice. The first bullet hits him in the.
It goes through his shoulder.
Yeah, it goes through his shoulder, and he reacts to it.
Mm.
You see him kind of react to it, and then you just see his fucking right side of his head just open, and like it's the saddest, like most gruesome thing.
Damn, man.
Yeah. You can only imagine what it'd be like if he was like around this time versus then. Like if Lyndon B. Johnson wasn't behind him. Not that I think Lyndon B. Johnson killed him.
No,
But
Nixon. There was an interview with Nixon where Nixon made a joke about LBJ not liking being in second place.
yeah, notoriously. Yeah. Well, he really boasted once he was president. You know, pulling his dick out for interviews and such.
But he's out here being Bill Clinton.
Yeah,
on camera,
the dude was famous for having a big dick.
These days, if JFK was around these days, I hate to think that he would be assassinated again. But
Jesus.
Or like Martin Luther King. Like I honestly feel like if Martin Luther King was around today, that you'd have to worry about that. Because I mean,
that shit's sad, man.
Human history. Anytime somebody has come along and been like, "Hey guys, maybe we should love each other," bam, right in the fucking head.
Right.
It's like we can't deal with it. If somebody comes along and tells us to love each other, we're like, no.
I'm surprised they ain't go from Obama when he like legalized gay marriage.
Because he didn't do it. The justice just did it.
No, I think enough people were able to realize that Obama was just.
He advocated for it, sure.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I'm sorry. I'm very ignorant.
That's okay, Quincy. You're learning.
Excuse me.
But there's definitely a separation between being like obviously right, like hey, we should legalize gay marriage, and to me, saying we should all love each other and be altruistic is obviously right, but it's not obviously right to everybody.
Mm-hmm. Right.
And
I mean, it makes sense.
Yeah.
I mean, all
it's
of it
just
makes
unfortunate.
sense. But yeah, I don't know. This history in general is kind of fun to talk about. I think there's a lot of things.
I love history, honestly. I may be ignorant about a lot of it, but I love history.
Yeah, I think we even mentioned it when we talked about your old roommate having all those Civil War books and such.
Oh yeah, he was a big Civil War buff. I think he like did Civil War reenactments in the spare time.
Yeah. Just like in his room.
He's in his room like with a musket.
He's talking about, even you, brother, you're fighting for the Union. And he turns and walks to the other side. How dare you, you fucking Yankee. Dude, bam, bam.
You're mine, boy.
And then for some reason you hear him pretending to be a slave. You're like, all right, I think that's enough.
I'm coming over like, all right, come on, you have a black guy right next door. If you really wanted to go that far, you could have asked me. I'm right here.
God.
I would imagine Richmond has a lot of reenactment stuff because they have they're one of the most important cities for the Civil War, I'd say.
I mean, they're the capital of the Confederacy, so yeah I would assume so.
There might be. There was a battle of Richmond. There was they had the the rebels had to burn the bridge down.
Yeah, then when was the battle when they burned the city? Was that the Battle of Richmond or was that another battle?
That's several because that's
that was Sherman's March to the Sea.
March, okay.
Yeah, where I was talking about the War of Attrition and how when it came to the end of the war, their strategy for winning was they sent an army. I don't know if they sent it as far west as Texas, but if my memory serves correct, Sherman led an army through Texas that went from Texas to Louisiana, through Alabama, Mississippi, into Georgia and South Carolina.
That march.
And he basically burned his way through those states.
Damn.
All the way to the sea.
Right.
He burned down Columbia, burned down.
So he was just burning down the South, just to get them to quit.
Well, that's what they had to do.
Yeah.
That's what it was like. It was either we fight a stalemate of a war, like we have been for the past 4 years, or we do the closest thing we can to a nuke at the time.
Yeah,
burn down the city.
It was 1963 to 1967, right?
It was 1861.
18. I'm in 18.
It was
Wow.
Yeah.
I was way off.
MLK was in a union.
Yeah. MLK was the one who got the Emancipation Proclamation passed.
Yeah.
Yeah, it started
Malcolm X.
I wonder if there's a certain point in history where all this information is going to be vaguely lost. So there's some people that are going to have to fill in the blanks.
They'll keep forcing down the kids' throat in the curriculum.
Because they always
long past the time we died.
No, I feel like there's going to be some things that just the details are kind of left out a little bit. Imagine 100 years from now.
They already did that.
How they would describe Drake or something.
Yeah.
They're gonna make him seem like he's the best rapper alive.
I'm interested.
J. Cole who? Kendrick Lamar who? It was just Drake.
Yeah, it was just Drake the whole
time. There was no other rapper.
I think it's gonna be interesting to see in 100 years how the way that history books discuss Trump, because you're gonna have large swaths of the population that remember him as the greatest thing ever, and then other parts of the population that are no, he was not a good president. We didn't like his policies. We didn't like what he did to the country. We didn't like who he was personally. And so I'm interested to see in the future how he's conceptualized as a historical figure, whether or not he's vilified.
Yeah.
As in my opinion, I think he should be, or if he's celebrated. Which if history books celebrate him, I mean,
then we already know who's writing those fucking history books.
Yeah. Unless between now and the time he leaves office, he does the greatest thing we've ever seen in our lives, and he fucking pulls a 360.
Weed gets legalized for this last year, and everyone's like, shit.
Hey, yo, Trump, you the best, dog. Snoop Dogg advocates for Donald Trump.
Oh shit! If it was
oh man,
if it was Trump versus in 2020, if it's Trump versus fucking Kirsten Gillibrand.
Kirsten Dunst.
And
Jesus.
And Kirsten Gillibrand's no, I'm not going to legalize weed. And Trump's yeah, we'll legalize weed. I'll overlook every other fucking... I'll be go ahead, fucking cut taxes for the rich.
I'll just buy the red hat.
Fuck the environment. Climate change is a fucking hoax. I'll go full-blown right-winger. Just for the fact, I'll start wearing the "Make America Great Again."
Except, just get a red hat and just spray paint MAGA on it.
Oh, it'll be Maha, Make America High Again. Maha. That is the other. Even then, I wouldn't vote for Trump.
Dude, that'd be insane though if that happened, because
I think he was that person that would do that to get the votes.
Oh, fucking things this dude does for votes. The dude lied about a fucking caravan coming up through Honduras.
The immigrants?
Yeah, he spread all this false information about a caravan a week before the midterm elections so that his base would get out and vote based on fear of that caravan coming.
Man, let me tell you.
Well, I'm going to say, okay, I know we were talking about 100 years in the future, but thinking 100 years in the past when we had, Woodrow Wilson and such who was around.
Woodrow Wilson is an interesting... I'm glad you brought that up. Because Woodrow Wilson is painted historically as this really great guy. But he was a vehement racist.
Damn, I just said Woodrow he was my nigga. I said Woodrow.
Oh.
And he was a racist, man. Fuck you, Woodrow.
Yeah, okay, but that's a lot of presidents. So, even Lyndon B. Johnson was probably extremely racist.
Thomas Jefferson was the biggest racist of all.
Hey.
Yeah, but he's the reason a lot of presidents.
Hey, was Thomas Jefferson... I've been cuckolded.
This is Danny's great grandfather. We just don't know.
Were you saying, Austin?
You might have to bleep it out twice. I said, was Thomas Jefferson raped? I've been cuckolded.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
But
a little bit of both.
But yeah, like that's what I'm saying. Like 100 years from now, like we're gonna have all these presidents like Obama, Bush, and Trump, and they're gonna be like, well, I mean, it's been a while and a lot has changed. So were they good or not? And people are gonna be like,
they're gonna make Obama a fucking martyr in the history books.
Oh my God, they're gonna be like, they're gonna have him on the crucifix.
Yeah.
Obama's
like angry black people like in the crowd rally with the Obama signs.
Yo, I was gonna say, can you imagine how like people are gonna utilize our history or what we are now?
Imagine being a kid growing up in the future and what that's gonna look like.
Like 100 years from now?
Yeah, it's gonna be fucking terrible.
Well, 100 years from now, our kids are gonna be like learning.
President Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson
to swim. They're gonna be evolving to live in the water,
dude. Imagine evolving so fast you live on land and then going back to the water.
Let me tell you about the 2032 election. It's gonna be fucking Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson versus Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Oh my God!
I would seriously, like 60 years from now, if the presidency isn't like a celebrity contest, I'm gonna be very pissed off.
It's going to be. It's gonna be BoJack Horseman. It's gonna be.
It already is.
It's gonna be BoJack Horseman versus goddamn Cartman from South Park.
We brought to life fictional beings from like animated universes.
It's really sad to think about, but like our descent into really only caring about identity politics has already started. Like there are people are becoming so much less focused on policy and becoming much more focused on identity.
Yeah.
And it's really unfortunate.
Well, I think it's because of how social we've become. We've become this
the social media area.
Everything, every interaction matters more. You know, we had this conversation. Austin, you and I were in a class where we talked about being in LA and how a lot of it is interaction. Everything you do is kind of building up, not necessarily not a repertoire. I'm trying to lack for a better term. Just who you are, I guess. Like your persona, like everything about your personality and who you are as a character builds from every interaction you have. And so when you make that so quick to happen, when you can just a single tweet or something like that, it's like can say a lot about you. Like people can dig up something you said 10 years ago.
James Gunn. Is that gonna happen, James Gunn?
Yeah. And some people are immune to it. Like it depends. Like
I think money is honestly the underlying factor for like most of that.
As unfortunate as it is, Trump was right when he said I could shoot somebody on Fifth Avenue and nobody would bat an eye.
They wouldn't.
Like his base, they don't care.
They don't give a fuck.
Trump could walk out on the lawn of the White House and give the word for word Emperor Palpatine speech from and literally he could be like, I'm changing the U.S. into the U.S. empire, and his base would be like, yes.
Isn't there
the Space Force?
I was gonna say, he can give the speech from Halo, and Danny would be all over that shit.
Danny would join the fucking Space Force immediately.
He's going to. Man, the idea of us fighting aliens is scary. I just don't like the thing.
I got Will Smith. I don't know. I might be that black guy. Fuck that. Fuck out of here.
From Independence Day?
Yeah, fuck that shit. I ain't fighting aliens. Got me fucked up.
I think anyone who's willing to travel light years to come to this planet is probably not going to be entirely hostile.
I think they're going to be nice. I think they're actually like nice people.
Yeah, they're going to come down and be like, hey, guys.
Like the fucking Canadians.
And we're going to fuck with them. We're going to teach them with like really gross shit.
Yeah.
And it's going to ruin them. And they're just going to...
We're going to like taint them. And they'll become evil. And then they'll take over. So they're smarter than us.
Knowing what it means to be human... If I were not, and I met one of us, I'd be like, I am getting as far as fuck away from these people. All they do is eat and fuck and shit, and try to fuck again, and then some of them eat shit and fuck at the same time.
Let me give one of them motherfucking aliens a burger. Let me give one of them motherfucking aliens a burger and a 40.
What do you think?
American.
What do you think would be like a really cool meal that aliens would have? Like something that we wouldn't think of.
Ass.
No, okay. No, like something like that sounds...
Get the woman with the best ass and the most pristine chocolate starfish on the planet and just present it for an alien and let that alien just...
Chocolate starfish?
Let that alien just rim job itself into a new reality. We would be enslaved in a heartbeat. We'd all be like strapped to these tables with our exposed assholes in the air, and we'd just be getting eaten, our asses eaten into oblivion.
So you're saying we give an alien a porn star?
This is what I'm saying. Like
Riley Reid.
Okay. I just watched one of her videos.
Riley Reid as an ambassador of the world to alien species.
Hey, that could bring world peace. Riley Reid could bring world peace. You heard it here first on the Soft Serve Podcast.
Porn stars with the top 5 asses get sent to the spaceship.
So Jada Stevens. Let's rank them right now.
All right. No. Oh my God.
Isis Taylor.
She's retired.
She retired?
I'm pretty sure
She's still
Jada's
an
retired.
angel. Listen, man.
Okay,
Jules
you did
Ventura.
not know exactly when.
It's been a lonely 2018, guys. It's been
All right.
a lonely 2018.
It's 2019. 2019 is way better for you.
You're right.
Anyways, I was gonna say, have any of you watched Love, Death, and Robots? Going back to what we were talking about. It's an anthology series where they talk about various subjects, mainly robot oriented. But I think some of the interesting things is the kind of relationship between humans and robots and aliens and stuff. Are you still laughing about the porn star?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
I was like ranking in my head.
Chocolate Star.
But
Roxy Reynolds.
But
Top 5 greatest ass of all time.
I think it's just really interesting to think about how. That's why I keep using 100 years from now, because I just think it's a good bound for change. I think change is very minimal in like 10 to 20 year spans. I think it's a lot more.
What do you think the world will look like 100 years from now?
A lot of it's going to be underwater.
Really?
Either underwater or arid to the point where people can't live there.
I don't think we're going to be here in 100 years.
What?
I think
that's a
climate
really
change, baby.
Oh, that's what I'm talking. I'm talking about climate change. I think that we'll still be here.
But we adapt.
But
I think
we'll
we're one of the most adaptable species.
We're not aliens.
Oh, we can adapt as much as we want, but when we can't grow crops, then we're fucked.
We'll grow seaweed.
It's gonna turn to a Bikini Bottom.
No, it's gonna be. Oh my God! I just realized. No, it's not the year 3000 yet. But I was gonna say the Jonas Brothers predicted it in the year 3000 when we all lived underwater.
Did they have like a video where they're underwater?
Yeah, that's from the year 3000. It's in the music video.
Never watched it.
That's the biggest fear when
they're
it comes
no Backstreet Boys
amongst biologists and climate scientists when it comes to climate change affecting our population. The biggest fear is not that the weather itself will kill us, but that the weather change will eliminate our ability to grow crops, and then we'll die of mass starvation.
Wow.
Well, yeah. I mean, that's the biggest concern is the not necessarily food deserts. I mean, that's another terminology for another issue. But just the idea of like being able to be sustainable in an underwater community. I guess that'd be somewhat difficult, but it'd be fun to see if it's possible to adapt to see what we come up with. I mean, I think that's the one thing that we're good at is even as much as we fuck things up, we still like realize that okay, we still want to survive.
Look how far technology has come.
I think probably our best chance of surviving would be just small packs of humans living underground in like massive bunkers that would have some sort of energy source, some sort of ventilation, some sort of ability to grow crops underground, but it would take a huge effort that I don't know if that effort could even be undergone in a dystopian world. I don't even know if you could gather the infrastructure to build a sustainable underground civilization unless you already had like the groundwork for it in place before everything collapsed.
I can imagine that already being underway. I think there's a lot of people that would have the idea, even just for just the idea of like, people really like really cool like unique hotel ideas. How you have I don't know if you've ever seen them, but they have these hotels off the sides of mountains or like cliff sides.
Really?
Where you have like a single room and you like get into it through hiking, I believe, and it's a room just literally on the side of a cliffside, and it's just like really weird, obscure places like that. But I feel like people probably have like cool luxury hotel ideas that are like slightly underwater or submerged or something.
Yeah,
where you can just reutilize that idea.
Yeah.
It's like those things in Japan where you basically like sleep in a little pod.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
and stuff like that, but underground.
I think they'll adapt.
Yeah,
I think they can do it.
Oh,
It's like a team effort.
Yeah, I think the thing is just it's better to probably
part.
try to actually attempt to fix an issue rather than coming up with happens after it. But
yeah. Do you think we're like more reactive than proactive?
Oh, we're definitely more reactive.
yeah, I was gonna say it just even socially we're so reactive to things that happen. So I definitely believe as a whole, pretty much for every issue we're reactive.
And even the issues that we can like see the end coming, or we can see in advance something's about to happen, you'll have those voices that say, "Hey, we need to do stuff right now. We need to do something about it right now." But I guess it's just in our nature to collectively drag our feet.
Yeah, because you don't. I guess it's like something you don't believe until you see it. And so when you see it, you're like, "Oh fuck, this is actually a problem. So let me fucking try to solve this," instead of just like preventing it in the first place.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's like as unfortunate as it is, I don't think that as a whole we're ever going to accomplish anything about climate change until it's too late. It's gonna, it'll be it'll be when the Middle East is so hot that people can't live there, and there's, millions and millions of people having to migrate.
Right.
And at that point, we'll be like, oh, shit.
Okay, this is a fucking problem. What the fuck are we going to dissolve it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But, I don't know. It's just cool to think about catching up on just 100 years past and 100 years in the future. I think it's
100 years
cool
in the future, I'll still be here. You're not going to get rid of me. I'll be here.
You'll be 123 years old.
123.
That's my goal, is to live to 105.
What?
I'll be 100 years from now. I'll be 123.
Okay, I meant like 20. Turn to the 22nd century, you'll be 105.
Like in the 3000s?
No, 3,000. You want to? What are you going to be in a like a head case? Not a head case.
He might put his
the
brain
glass
in a
from
computer.
Futurama.
I'm gonna be like fucking Black Mirror. Put my brain in a computer.
Yeah, it could.
I would hate
I'm
to
gonna live
see
in
you.
San
You would be
Junipero.
the worst fucking OS that ever existed. I would
Would
hate
I?
you. Yeah, I would hate this idea.
I hope I become your. I hope I die and they put me in your phone and I become your fucking
Oh
Siri.
Quincy, you could be
No,
like
it'd be-
Cortana.
I
be
would love to be
awful.
Aaron's Cortana.
No, I would hate that shit.
What's with us?
I'd be so pissed.
I
You
don't
wouldn't
know,
answer
bitch.
me. You would say, "How about you go outside, dumbass?" And I'd be like, "I would just turn you off."
I'm gonna like go outside, suck your finger, and put it in the air.
That's how you tell the wind direction.
Exactly. I'd fuck you up.
But yeah, definitely talking about robots, Aaron. I think that by the year 2100, AI will be advanced to the point where, in some instances, you probably won't be able to distinguish between an AI and a biological human being.
Yeah, those robot calls are significantly better than they used to be.
So it'd be like you like take a girl home, you like gotta figure out if she's a robot or not.
Maybe.
You mean like synthetic humans?
Yeah.
I don't think they're gonna make. I think they'd make them to be workers. I don't think they're gonna ever make them for casual use.
I think it's more likely
That'd be.
that
I don't know.
Casual use.
No, I mean like casual society. I don't think they would just integrate them.
Like the what's that video game?
Teenage Robot.
What is it?
That's TV show. Never mind.
Detroit Become Human.
Yeah, Detroit Become Human. Yeah, kind of like that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I like that. I don't think they would have a reason to incorporate them outside. I guess like home living. I guess that would be some. So I guess
think
technically they would.
Unless it's gonna become a real person.
I don't want. Oh God, the amount of people that probably had that fantasy. You know, Her, the movie Her.
Yeah.
When they kind of incorporate the same thing, just the idea of that happening, and he actually succeeds with making her into a woman.
Hey Alexa, play Drake. She starts rapping Drake.
She just like starts performing right there.
It's like a fucking concert. She's like, I wanted to play for Spotify.
Oh,
Yeah.
but what would be cool is if she could like transform into Drake. And all of a
I
sudden,
don't know if I would use the
That'd
word
be
cool
weird.
there. I don't know if
want
I'd use
Drake in
cool.
my fucking apartment. That'd be kind of fucking
You
weird.
don't want Drizzy Drake?
Nah, like
So
what
you're
if I'm
saying-
like, I just got in the shower. I'm like naked, and he's just sitting there just rapping while I'm like putting on my
But
underwear.
it's still the mind of the AI. It's not like Drake's actually responding to you.
But I mean, it's like it's a dude.
Just the
I would-
concept of Drake looking.
I'd be like, play Ashanti. You know, if I wanted somebody to stare at me while I'm just got in the shower, I'd be like,
Yeah,
play Ashanti.
okay.
You know.
There you go.
I think it's more likely that instead of making AI, like instead of putting an artificial intelligence in a synthetic body or like a mock biological body, I think it's more likely that instead it'll be putting like an actual person's intelligence in a computer, like taking like you, Quincy,
They want to put that in the computer.
hooking you up to a machine and basically like putting your consciousness in a machine.
Boy, that computer be fucking trash.
I would hate. I just the idea of transferring a human conscious sounds like. I feel like there's this video game. I can't
like
remember exactly what it is,
It's
but
the next step in our evolution.
they create what you're talking about. It's like human consciousness, but what happens is since it's a direct replica, your consciousness still exists, but the replication of it also exists. They also do it in Black Mirror, where it's essentially you are still there, and even though you're split, you're not going to go into whatever device they create to represent your consciousness. But the idea of the replication is what will think that it's you exactly, and then when you put it in something else, it acts just like you would.
Did you see like that
I
one
was
episode?
meaning like a form of immortality.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't think you can actually grab. I mean, everything about you is primarily in your head. I'm saying I don't really think you can move that.
At this point. But I mean, if you'd asked somebody in 1705 about airplanes, they would have burnt you at the stake.
You're a fucking witch.
Yeah,
Cool shit, though.
Being burned at stake.
No, airplane. Flying around an airplane in 1705.
if you would
Like Stanos, huh?
if you had articulated even the technology we're using in this podcast to somebody 500 years ago, they'd have burned us at the stake.
You're saying their only answer to the thing was burn them at the stake.
Look how many fucking people they burned at the stake. My motherfuckers were like,
ideas.
Yeah, it was like, hey guys, maybe the Earth is round and maybe we revolve around the sun.
Oh,
kill his ass,
burn that
kill
motherfucker.
him.
Austin, flat earthers have something going for them, you know.
Oh my God, Logan Paul's trying to like fund a cruise or some stupid shit.
If a cruise around the world or something?
Or no, he's trying to like fund. He might have called it off, but I saw something about Logan Paul was trying to fund some trip to Antarctica to prove that the Earth was flat. Dude, go ahead, waste all your goddamn money.
What happened if someone finds out the Earth is flat? Like in like the 100 years from now, is actually true?
And then we would burn him at the stake.
Yeah, we'd burn him at the stake. That information is not allowed to be released.
So, I mean, there's a certain point where humanity regresses, right? Where we go back to doing shit like we did.
Look at Donald Trump's election.
Okay. Oh, it's political.
No, it's not about all. It's not necessarily political. It's about authoritarianism.
No, I mean regressing, like just like really weird, mundane tactics that we use.
Oh, okay. You're meaning like just like everyday things. I was thinking more in terms of society.
Oh, no, no, I understand where you're going with that. No, I meant entirely the idea that like we kind of go back to like weird cultural practices, like
getting like high top fades.
Like, okay. Like, well, yeah, but I mean, seriously, like that. Like, that's bringing back something from the past.
Yeah.
That doesn't make any sense and looks bad.
Like,
fuck you.
Like, in my mind, I'm thinking of,
New Orleans.
like...
You dirty.
Oh, yeah, we went to New Orleans.
Within the past, at least in Western civilization, within the past 100 years, monarchies have gone away. Mm-hmm. And that's sort of a social structure that we don't see anymore in the Western world.
Mm.
Right.
But... When you know the example I was using Donald Trump, I wasn't trying to like just be political. I was saying that's an example of us kind of moving away a little bit away from democracy and a little bit more towards authoritarianism.
Do you think that's going to happen?
And I think that over the next 100 years, there's a good chance. I mean, look at China, look at Russia. Those are countries that are very solidly authoritarian. And I think that over the next 100 years, there's a chance that like our society might kind of regress back to that sort of, oh, we need a monarchy. Oh, we need centralized power.
I guess I'm playing technical devil's advocate here, but I think the reason that people may be interested in that kind of concept is because people feel like we don't get enough work done as already. Mm-hmm. And the idea that maybe having a uniform government can actually get things passed. I mean, just think about it now. We have like primarily conservative Supreme Court, a primarily conservative overall Congress, and a conservative White House. And it's not necessarily saying that things have gotten done, but at least there's more of a conversation on their spectrum. But
they shut down the fucking government.
Well, Trump shut down the government, yeah.
Because they couldn't agree on the fucking policy.
All right, but I'm not saying I'm not saying it's perfect. I'm saying that that's why people may assume that having all these people that believe in the same thing being in one place at one time is better than having a Democratic presidency, a conservative Supreme Court, and then like a Democratic Senate, and then a conservative or Republican House.
I think political parties are the dumbest shit ever. I think that's part of the problem in the country is that we all we're set in our fucking ways we won't see from the other side, and that's why we don't get shit done.
And I was going to mention this before. I don't know if I asked you, Austin, but is Bernie running as an independent?
No, he's running.
He's a Democrat.
He is?
Yeah.
Because I thought...
He can't get it done as independent. He can't get it done as independent. That's why he needs Democrats.
Democrats didn't let him win last time.
I know, but he needs that party because he needs something to back him.
But that's I guess where I was kind of going off was the idea of running as a third party and actually trying to do it successfully.
The only person I know that's planning on running as an independent is Howard Schultz.
Okay.
But that shit never works. It just takes away votes from each party.
It doesn't matter if it doesn't work. I think the point that
it sends a message.
That's what I'm saying. It sends a message. The idea that something doesn't work doesn't mean you should never do it.
I mean,
we were talking about Teddy Roosevelt earlier.
Why not?
Teddy Roosevelt, when he...
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he won the first time, and then the second time, I think it was Taft ran for president in the party that had been Teddy Roosevelt's, the Republican Party.
And he was pissed off about it.
Yeah, he was pissed off, and so he formed the Bull Moose Party.
The Bull Moose Party.
To run against him,
and it ran as a third party, and he actually got a significant amount of votes, but...
Didn't Teddy Roosevelt? He won as a Bull Moose Party, right?
No,
he didn't win.
He didn't win a second term.
No, he won his first term and that's it. He got but he did all that he needed to do in that first term, just like Polk, who's also my second favorite president, because Polk said he was going to do like 3 things, did all 3 of them.
He did. He was efficient with that shit.
Polk is actually Polk has I don't know if it's a quote or an anecdote, but Polk was known for he didn't take any leisure time. He never took vacations, and he saw the presidency as a you go to work every single day, you work the entirety of the day. It's not like how it is in recent years. Like I forget how many exact hours a day, but I saw there was some statistics saying that like Donald Trump takes significant amounts of time off during the day.
Yeah.
And it's called executive time.
Executive time.
And it's just all
Is everything a president do called executive?
Riley Reid would never.
No.
Jesus Christ. She's an ambassador, not a president.
No, Riley Reid could be the president of the United States.
Oh my no.
Yes,
Please,
she could.
God.
I think she would bring world peace to this world.
Give me
this world
3
a better
examples of
place.
what her policy would be on foreign policy, financial policy, and just social
Doesn't
policy.
matter, dog. That's all irrelevant. It's all about the face.
Yeah, it's all irrelevant. Her platform's like,
she
fuck
can
the
have
platform.
people in her
And then she
corner
says it
that do
literally.
all that shit for her. She can have people in her corner do all that shit for her. But Riley Reid
Riley
have a
Who's in her
successful
corner? Who's supporting
presidency.
Riley Reid for
Lexington
presidency?
Steel.
Bill Clinton and Hillary
Oh
Clinton.
my God.
The Clintons. Jimmy Carter's in there somewhere.
Did you not catch what Austin said?
What did he say? I missed it.
Okay, you definitely missed
said
that.
Lexington Steel. Or
Don't forget my guy, what's his name?
Mandingo.
Nah,
Please do not-
Mandingo.
If you do not know these names, please do not Google them.
No, please do.
Please do not.
What's my guy?
Pornhub.com/Mandingo.
Johnny Sins.
Johnny Sins.
Don't forget about Johnny Sins.
Or Danny D.
Yeah, Danny D.
Oh, good God.
That's the British guy, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Danny D does gay porn, too.
Isaiah Maxwell.
I've seen him do gay porn.
Oh. Isaiah Max. How do you know? Like,
He's
there's
a black guy.
do these people have Instagrams too? I just found out that a lot of porn stars have Instagrams now.
Aaron, you never seen a video where they had that both porn
They
stars
also have
names up there?
Snapchats.
No, I've never watched Instagrams like that. I don't
I'm
follow
talking
people.
about like Pornhub. They had like both porn stars names up there.
No, to be fair, to be
Ever
quite
followed
honest,
a porn-
I have
porn
not
star?
watched porn that recently.
Ever followed a porn star on Snapchat?
Aaron's over here successful, huh?
Yeah. But no, I've not. I know they have them.
I have.
Hey,
And
you
then
bought a
unfollowed.
premium?
No.
I've been cuckolded.
Well, one of them on her Snapchat.
I followed
Which
one
one?
porn star for like a week.
I don't remember. She was a Russian model.
A Russian model? Was it
Yeah, I'm not gonna help you out there. I'm not gonna help you out there. I'm not gonna validate you for guessing the porn star name.
Is it Ivy LaBelle? No, she's Italian. Never mind.
Like, how do you know that? God, you're the type of person that goes on Boovipedia and knows their bra size.
I don't know
Yes,
the bra size
really?
actually.
You know, fucking what's her name?
Of Bella Danger.
She's oh my
I
God.
love a Bella Danger.
She's
Great.
She's
artist.
God.
Mia Khalifa. She has a song named after her, and she became a streamer.
She is in a happy relationship
just,
right
like,
now.
I've
We're not gonna talk
never
about Mia
watched one of her
Khalifa.
videos.
Okay.
I've never watched one of Mia Khalifa's
They're
You
videos.
just watched
they're
the first
horrible.
one. The first one.
I don't.
She just lays there.
You know what it is?
She's just like, You gotta
I
dabble
don't
more.
know. I
You
have
guys-
I have a select option I go
Jada
to.
Stevens, right?
No. I
LA
told you.
Stevens.
Apparently, if I'm gonna ever.
Me too.
God, I'm probably to.
You're free.
If I'm ever gonna look, it's primarily just gonna be something like stills or maybe because at a certain point I'm just like it's tiring seeing some people in the porn industry.
My God.
I don't know if any of you have seen
I never look up specific people
unless
unless it's Jules Ventura.
And look at Cassidy Banks if you
but I'm
you're
gonna say
listening.
I don't know if you've seen the documentary series. It's like what happens after or like after porn or after something like that. But it's some of the story. It's not upsetting. Like some people know what they're getting into. Some people get used and abused and stuff like that in the industry itself, and you kind of just understand that happens. But it's just a lot of it's just been like sometimes I look at their eyes and it's one of the most uncomfortable feelings for me.
Like when it's like this sitting there like they look dead inside.
Yeah, it's like sometimes it's just
Oh,
like
yeah.
sometimes I just see that too much. I'm like I'm not trying to take a moral high ground at all. It's just like I look at it and it's
That's why I
It's
look
just
for the
sometimes it's
videos
like
where
that,
the girls look like they're happy to be there. You know,
That's what I go straight to Perv City. Perv City is my favorite.
is that a series?
Oh my God, dude, it's the best. Do you want me to describe what Perv City videos are?
No, you don't have to, but I'll look it up after I guess. But
yeah, look up on a school computer, please.
no, I'm not looking it up there. I'm trying to see what the documentary is called, just so people don't know I'm bullshitting.
If you like some freaky shit,
Riley Reid's for you.
Check out Riley Reid does a kinky video here and there, but most of her stuff's
After Porn Ends. That's what this series is called.
Kind of vanilla.
Oh, people did not like that.
With a little bit of chocolate, am I right?
Although I have seen some stuff where Riley Reid's going a little crazy, but I like some of the.
She has a rap song.
The other people. Oh my God, dude!
She has a rap song.
Yeah, she does.
She does. Somebody play that shit for me right now.
I'll play it after.
No, play it for the podcast.
No. But
is it raunchy?
No, we're just gonna have copyright issues.
Yeah, that and also it is also raunchy. There is one that's super raunchy.
Oh yeah, her rap song is like all about sucking dick.
Yep. And
that makes sense. I mean, that's what most people rap songs about nowadays.
Most people's rap songs about sucking dick.
I said most female rappers that's what they talk about. Not sucking dick, but they talk about their vaginas more.
I was gonna say Cardi B and like Nicki Minaj are more like dominant and
money
and sex.
Fuck these niggas. Nothing.
They're not. I don't think there's a lyric or Cardi B is like I'm gonna suck this nigga's dick.
Oh, Nicki Minaj is just
is
like I'm gonna fuck this.
But you can find it.
What'd you say?
I said Nicki Minaj is just like I'm gonna fuck this dude to sleep. He's gonna start calling me NyQuil, shit like that.
That's a bar.
Did you make it that often?
No, she literally says, "Pussy put his ass to sleep." Now he's calling me NyQuil.
I know part, yeah. Oh man, wow.
Real country ass.
Yep, but that's so in the future,
I mean, but at the same time, it's like the same thing with men. Like they talk about the same thing. It's just
we are men. We were talking about that.
I'm talking about like how men in rap. I'm talking about this like the same men in rap and women rap talk about the same shit. It's just different.
Oh yeah, but that's what I'm saying. None of them are like. None of them talk rap as if they're submissive. I would say. I guess Rihanna has.
I'll make a rap
in the
version
past
of
was.
Whips and chains.
Call me rude boy. Can you get it? No, I don't think. Rihanna's dominant.
No, chains and whips excite me.
Yeah.
He was not using the chains and whips.
You don't think so?
I don't think so.
You don't think so? You never know. I think Drake could take a chain and whip to the ass.
But Drake is not going to get with Rihanna. We've talked about this several times. Did. What?
They were already together.
Yeah,
they were dating.
I thought but didn't Drake try to get her back or something at some point?
They were dating and he embarrassed her on live TV.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. So I guess so things were okay with them.
I don't know. I don't know what the fuck their life is.
Okay, you pay attention to so much celebrity drama. Don't give me that bullshit.
That's because the shade room's here. It's just this Instagram,
Mm-hmm. I don't know anything about rap artists or that industry. I don't really follow it.
I was gonna say, do you follow any celebrity? Awesome.
I follow WWE superstars. I follow like people that are big in the WWE.
Mm-hmm.
That's just because I'm a huge wrestling fan and I want to work in that business.
Oh, you got WrestleMania coming up on.
Oh yeah,
soon, right?
I'm pumped.
I can't wait to watch it. I'm just mad I gotta work Sunday, so I don't want to I gotta just.
Wasn't your traditional vacation always like get like a pack of beer and then watch WrestleMania?
Pack of beer, extra sandwiches. I don't know why the combination works, but it does.
A lot of the matches I kind of like. I mean, I'll be excited and watch them, but a lot of the matches I'm like, oh, okay, that's gonna happen.
Yeah.
But the one match that I like really care about and really like care who wins is Kofi Kingston versus Daniel Bryan.
Oh, I can't wait to see that match. I hope Kofi beats his ass.
Yeah.
Because I hate heel Daniel Bryan. It's the worst.
I love him.
It's the worst shtick ever.
Oh, I love it. And I think it's just because I've always liked heel characters.
Right.
I think if I were one of the, if I break into the wrestling business at all, one thing I'd really like to do is be a heel commentator.
I think you could do that. That sounds like right up your alley.
And be the commentator that's kind of like pulling for the heels.
Yeah.
Because when I watched wrestling as a kid, I always liked the heel characters, and then
the
watching
heel
it now,
heel's just technically like
it's bad. It's the bad guy.
Villain, right?
The bad guy. Yeah.
Okay. Because
they're the ones that use less honorable tactics to win matches.
Who would be the most famous?
I thought it was like because face they're like a face guy is like a superhero, so he'll like fight you right to your face, and the heel's like he would stab you behind the back, so like because your heel be turned to him.
Were you gonna say who's the most famous heel?
I'm just saying for people in the audience who may not
Ric
know.
Flair.
Okay, Ric Flair. Yeah, people would know Ric Flair.
Yeah, Ric Flair, the dirtiest player in the game.
Triple H is one of the biggest heels.
Yeah, I'd say. Roddy Piper. King Kong Bundy. I think was he a big heel? Rest in peace. Yeah.
So then what are people
like
Undertaker and Kane considered?
Undertaker was a face.
He's
a face
mainly, but he did have different stints where he would be the heel.
The American Badass.
Didn't he have like the Come Back to Life series where he like was dead and then came back?
Oh, that's his whole character.
That was Vincent Mann.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh no, dude! Do you know what that was?
What?
Vince McMahon, they had the whole sequence where he gets into the limo, the limo blows up.
Yeah.
But I was just listening to Bruce Pritchard's podcast where Bruce Pritchard was the guy who was Brother Love.
Uh-huh.
And he was a WWE executive. And he said that the reason why they did that whole angle was Vince needed a way to ride himself off the show. And he was like, well, well, I guess we'll just kill me. And why not just kill me off? And they did that angle. They did that that whole. They filmed that whole bit, and then I think it was like immediately after that.
The Kristen Wall.
Yeah,
the Kristen Wall thing happened.
Tragedy happened.
And he was on TV the next show.
And then Vince McMahon was in the ring the next show, alive and well, not blown up in his fucking limo.
As a kid watching that, I was like, Vince.
Because was the one where that guy had his accident, wasn't it like they were about to cut to it and everything, and they just cut off, the stream came off? Like, what happened again?
Oh, the Chris Benoit thing was he, that happened at his home. He murdered his...
murder-suicide.
It was murder-suicide.
Oh, yeah.
And I think what you might be thinking of is Owen Hart.
Yeah, when he fell.
1999, yeah. He was doing a stunt where he would enter from the ceiling, and he fell to his death.
Yeah.
Died right in the ring.
Yeah.
Because they had, like, they cut away from it or something, or they never cut to it?
I've never seen it, but I heard it was like one of the worst things on TV.
Yeah.
They kept broadcasting though. They kept broadcasting the show because they.
I think that's what happened. They cut out to the people outside the ring, and they had their conversation.
Did they know he died there, or did they know why he was doing the show?
So this is how it happened. The death happened. They got him out, and then Road Dogg and somebody else had a match right after that, and then during the commercial break, I think they just went to a commercial break, and then during the commercial break, whoever it was told JR on commentary, Owen's dead. You need to break the news to everybody.
Wow.
And so when they came back, the shot is JR and King sitting at the table. And King just look. I mean, you can tell that he's just witnessed this horrible tragedy.
Right.
He's just like, pale as a ghost, just sitting there with this, mortified look on his face. And then JR delivers the news, and it's heartbreaking.
That's fucking. Oh man. That's why, because WWE just got ripped by John Oliver.
Why?
For this shit like that. They said he was saying that Vince McMahon is worse than the NFL. When the way they treat the way they treat the talent and like all the injuries and shit, and this shit like that, like all the deaths in wrestling from like how they were like.
Were there a lot?
Like not Owen Hart's death, but there was like Eddie Guerrero
in wrestling, but deaths
because of wrestling,
because of it, yeah,
that,
like steroids and shit, like
which, that's a fair criticism to have of Vince McMahon and the WWE, but you have to take into account what changes they've made since then. Though, the WWE's wellness policy in 2019 versus their wellness policy in 1985 to 2003 is totally different. And
because they've seen the deaths. They've seen the fucking Kurt Hennings, the Eddie Guerreros, the Chris Benoits, who that they say that like all the concussions he got played a part into how he just like snapped like that.
Yeah, and like nowadays a wrestler gets a concussion and they have to there's a certain amount of days they got to be out. There's so many more doctors working for the WWE now than there were back in the day. They really have transformed the way that they approach that issue. And so, John Oliver's right to, call out stuff that's wrong, but you got to take into account the efforts that they're making to be better.
Right.
To do better, to make it to where their business isn't as unhealthy for the performers.
I was going to mention that because I guess I'm kind of concluding in a bit here, but kind of going back to NFL and how I remember the movie. Was it Will Smith, the concussion movie?
It was called.
It was literally called Concussion.
Concussion.
Yeah. I know it wasn't really like a big movie, never really make a lot of money, but
went to theaters.
Huh?
Went to theaters.
No, I know. But I'm saying besides being in theaters, it still didn't wasn't like.
I think that was like
extremely.
I think it was like intent was like the inform.
But I think that's what I'm saying. In terms of being informative, I think a lot of people are being concerned of putting their people in NFL, and a lot of people are just having
don't want their kids play football anymore.
Yeah, would you let your kid play football?
No.
I don't think I'd let him play it until high school.
If he really wanted to play, I'd let him do it. But I would be like holding my breath every time I went on the field.
I'm just thinking back, like when I played, like no shoulder pads, like backyard football all the time. Like we would slam each other around. The amount of times I got injured.
I remember times I got knocked the fuck out, and I was like dizzy as hell.
I remember kids getting the wind knocked out of each other playing backyard football.
Oh yeah.
And trying to truck over each other.
Yeah.
That was one of my favorite things about, just kind of like, well, at least when I was in Pittsburgh, just being tough was important, especially for playing backyard football and stuff. So
that's the thing.
I was always stronger than like most of my cousins.
Yeah.
Back then, for some reason, and I would always like be able to like play well and not get hurt, and I would always get picked on the better team.
Right.
So it was really nice, but like just the idea of like everyone kind of being like either more aggressive or more like energetic and kind of being in that mindset where like we're playing game, but like if you tackle them, you're winning and all that shit.
Yeah.
It's just,
only reason my brothers and I and the people we played football with, only like when we first started playing football, we were playing tackle. We would tackle each other, but as the years went on, the reason we started doing two-hand touch was not so that we didn't get hurt, but because we kept getting in trouble for our clothes getting dirty. You can only get so many grass stains on so many pairs of pants.
Yeah.
Before your parents get fucking pissed. I used to come out with the grass in my knees. My mom like, I just bought you those fucking pants.
Yeah, I think I had a specific outfit that I always wore when I played out-yard football. It was like
That's smarter than I was.
I hated playing football in shorts because it's like you fucking scuff your knees up and shit.
I don't know why you'd play football in shorts.
I used to, because like my mom used to get mad at me for fucking up my pants, so I had to wear it.
Athletic shorts, I guess, are okay.
Yeah.
But
I wasn't playing in jorts.
Jorts.
I'm not John Cena.
Just 1970s basketball shorts. Or track shorts, which are even worse.
Yeah, that makes sense. I was either playing football or I was up there wrestling backyard, so they're two dangerous fucking sports.
I know. I'm glad safety is becoming on consideration again.
It has to.
I think that's
like,
maybe
you don't want people dying.
Yeah.
Baseball scares me. The idea
getting hit
of
by a 94 mile per hour ball.
The idea of
getting hit in the head with that shit.
I have seen the batter hit the ball and it goes straight in a fucking straight line and hit the pitcher in the forehead.
Right.
I've seen that in person. Oh, speaking about things you see in person, craziest football play I've ever seen in my life and probably ever will see. It was a Pop Warner football game. My little brother's team, they're punting the football. The punter, it hikes it back to the punter punts it. It bounces off the center's helmet back to the punter, and the punter ran it for a touchdown.
But does that count?
Yeah.
If a punter hits their own team? Oh, because it's still your possession.
A live ball.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, okay.
It's a live ball. He punted it. It hit the lineman's helmet, bounced back into his hands, and he ran it for a touchdown.
Oh, so it hit the opposing lineman, right?
No, his own teammate.
Okay, so it's kind of just like a fake play then.
Yeah, it was essentially as if it was a fake punt.
He did it intentionally. That's what it like. Essentially,
he intended to. He's like, oh, I did that. Yeah.
That's why I played off.
Yeah,
but,
it was the wildest thing I've ever seen.
I guess tying things up then. I guess we went from football to football, but yeah, safety is important. Hope the AAF comes back. It'd be nice to see kind of an opposing league to the NFL.
And Riley Reid, if you're out there, you have my vote.
Yeah.
Riley,
just saying.
You're the fate of human civilization is in your hands. It's in your ass.
You're the key
the fate
to making us a better world.
It's in your ass. All right, with us today we had
Quincy Tucker,
Austin Myers,
and your ambassador to the earth,
Riley Reid.
Riley Reid.
Your host, Aaron. Signing off.
And shout out to Z Money, shout out to Zach, and shout out to Danny. I meant to say shout out to Z Money, and then shout out to Danny. I said shout out to Z Money, shout out to Zach.
I'm gonna do this enough then.
Later, bitch.